Happy Monday, ladies. Super excited to be back after a lovely weekend. Some of you may or may not have seen that me, Helen, Packham and Lorraine went out this weekend, went to Brighton for the day, which was lovely. Had some kind of girl time, and it just reminded me about a few of the things that are really, really important in terms of having your own business, and in terms of being able to take time out, and in terms of, you know, the importance of offline connection with your online world. So it was really, really interesting, really, really good fun. We had an awful lot of cocktails. So Sunday was a very quiet day. But I wanted to kind of jump on live with you guys today and share a few things, because there are a few interesting changes kind of going on at the moment, and there are things coming up that we're seeing, and there are a lot of interesting conversations around things like prices, around value, around, you know, delivery and things like that. And actually it can all be answered by one question, which is, what are you available for? Now, what are you available for is one of my favorite questions to ask myself. Again, it's something I do every 3 months, probably, you know, quicker if I'm going through things, if I'm trying to kind of up level my business or anything in particular. But the question that asking yourself, you know, what are you actually available for, makes you think about things in a different kind of way. So obviously this weekend I was able to go out, you know, for the entire day with Helen and with Lorraine. And it was just lovely. Okay, so we went out, me and Lorraine got the train down to Brighton early morning. Well, I say early morning, we got the train, you know, kind of mid-afternoon. We went down to Brighton, we had Prosecco, we had lunch, we had, hey Natalie, I'm good, how are you? How was your weekend? I want to hear all about it. But yeah, so we went to Brighton, got on the train, we kind of relaxed all the way there. Got there, had really lovely food at a vegan restaurant, which was really exciting. Then we went out, we had Prosecco, we went for a little walk around Brighton, we went to the pavilion, we went to see some, you know, other kind of bits and pieces, and then we pretty much hit, you know, every bar that we could, and had different cocktails in each one, and it was great, you know, and we went out for a nice meal, and it was all lovely. And actually, it kind of reminded me that when I first started my business, and there's an article somewhere about this on the internet that you can find that I wrote when I started my business, which was called Reality Bites. And, you know, it was the kind of the real behind the scenes knowledge of what happens when you set up a business. Now, what typically happens to people when they set up their business is that they kind of get into the habit of not going out. You know, they get into the habit of not socializing. They get into the habit of not spending time with their friends. They get into the habit of just working in their business 24/7, which is fine, but completely unsustainable. And so what Saturday really brought home for me was that I'm very lucky. I'm very, very fortunate in that I created the business right from a very early point. So probably about 6 months into my business, I started creating the business that I wanted, rather than the one that people told me that I could have. And so what I mean by that is that I wanted to not ever work weekends. You know, I didn't want to work weekends. I wanted to always be able to go out and do fun things and do what I wanted to do, and spend time with people that, you know, my friends, my family, and different people. And so actually looking at it and being able to spend that time this weekend just with Helen and Lorraine, and kind of having a really chilled weekend, was really, really nice. And it brought that back for me, that actually, you know, your business doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't have to be difficult, but it does come down again to asking yourself what you're available for. So I'm just going to check in on how everybody else's weekends were. Nicola, I love that you're in LA. How are you getting on in LA? Please tell me all about it. I want to know about the weather. I want to know what your kids are eating for breakfast. I want to see pictures. I'm so jealous that you're in LA right now. Natalie, that sounds lovely. Really nice, quiet, chilled weekend, coffee and cake, and you planned your English holiday. Yay! And it sounds lovely, like you're having a really nice time today. You're crafting with a friend. That's lovely. Okay, cool. So when you're looking at what you're available for in your business, when you're looking at what it is that you want to create, you need to look at the business that you want to create quite early. And one of the things that I see quite often online is people saying, I'm working 16 hours a day, or I'm working 20 hours a day, or, I'm doing all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, but it's not going to be sustainable for a long period of time. And so the problem is with that is that people will work 16, 17, 18 hours a day on things that don't really help them move forward. And that's why, last week our kind of focus was very much on money-making activities and how to generate revenue, and about taking action to hit those things. What tends to happen is that if you prioritize those money-making activities, is that you're actually making money, so you can work less. And it's called working smarter, not harder. Everybody knows that, right? But what tends to happen with new entrepreneurs is that you get really sucked in immediately, particularly if you're working on Facebook, or you're working in the Facebook world, to showing up regularly in Facebook groups, which is great for building your visibility, it's great for building your brand, but actually means that you're starting at big fat zero month after month, because you're constantly making your money from doing a lot of one-on-one work, and you're having to go out there and be very proactive about getting those clients each month. Whereas the way that I tend to work was setting up a kind of system in the beginning that was a bit more automated, that gave me a little bit more freedom and a kind of bit more space to do what I wanted to do, and to connect with people I wanted to connect, and to build genuine relationships, and to hang out in my Facebook group more often, just build community and things like that. And so for me, it's really interesting, and this week my focus, as my business is up leveling and changing again, and as I'm getting ever closer to hitting this huge goal that I've set myself for June, it's kind of reminded me to look at the future and the next 6 months, because at the moment we're at the halfway point during the year, and so there's been some great inspirational quotes and memes and stuff like that about being halfway through the year and what will you do with the next 6 months and things like that. And I keep thinking, well, you know what, it's not about what I do for the next 6 months, it's actually about what I'm available for the next 6 months. I love that, Nicola. Really, really love that. So Nicola Torres, this is so timely, as I had an amazing weekend with all the cousins. Wow, 10 at the pool. That's amazing. Getting along together like they've been together all of their life, and it was amazing. The thought that you could do this every day, and you totally forgot about building that business, and you're happy to get into the group. In the Facebook comments, seeing people in real life gave me a fresh perspective on the Facebook world. Would love to connect over here though. Absolutely. You know what? It's when I was just kind of touching on that then, but when I was thinking about what am I available for the rest of 2016, well, I can, what I'm definitely available for is more face-to-face connection, because I actually really enjoy it, and I love spending time with people. I love building businesses with people face-to-face. I love actually going out and talking to people face-to-face. I love spending time with, clients like Helen and Lorraine for a day and just having a really girly business day together, and kind of getting to know each other offline, and going and doing fun things, drinking cocktails, going to the beach, heading out for really nice food, being able to just do things in the real world, right? So for me, what I'm available for the rest of 2016 is very much about offline connection. And face-to-face connection, and that's one of the reasons why I want to host the Fabulous Female Entrepreneurs Girls Weekend. It's one of the reasons that I want to be doing a lot more kind of VIP days, but internationally, so a lot more in Europe and a lot more in the US towards the end of the year, and things like that, so that I can get that offline connection that I actually really, really enjoy, and that actually is really important to me as a human to not be stuck behind a screen all day. The other thing that kind of came in and hit me, smashed me over the head last week with a hammer, was as I was planning out my week for this week. So for those of you who don't know, tomorrow I'm in hospital. I'm having a very minor operation in the afternoon, probably take about 15 minutes, the kind of thing. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got to plan my week around being in hospital and, having this minor operation of my own, and moving my clients and moving group work and moving projects and things like that. And I'm thinking, well, actually, one of the things that really has, or two of the things really that have appeared over the last couple of months to me, is that I do an awful lot of one-on-one mentorship, and that actually it causes me to be very, very proactive in my business, like I was saying earlier about the Facebook groups and the posting and stuff like that. And it causes that kind of thing. So I want to really, really work on my automated systems and structures and how I build relationships in an automated way. And the other thing that it brought up is that actually I probably need to practice what I preach, and I need to raise my prices, because a lot of people, when they're working with me one-on-one, everybody gets unlimited email access, everybody gets, you know, an awful lot of value. And if you've kind of seen any of the posts from the Sell Out Success Girls, they'll tell you exactly how much I've added into that course without, you know, them knowing about it right back at the beginning. And so the interesting thing for me was, actually, I think I do. I've come to that point again, and it doesn't happen that often for me. I don't raise my prices that often. But, you know, it takes me time to think about it. And like everybody else, you know, don't think that you're sat there on your own thinking, oh God, well, I get really nervous about raising my prices. We all do. I do too. You know, and it's always, oh goodness, you know, if I raise my prices, what will this mean for the community? What will it mean for me? What will it mean for, you know, how I feel about things? So, you know, it's never just you that worries about raising prices. So if you are one of those people, don't worry about it. I worry about it too. And sometimes it can take me like a couple of months to really work out and plan out what it's going to look like in terms of pricing structure. But it really kind of hit me that actually I give an awful lot of value to my one-on-one clients, and that I am being very proactive about that. So time has come to raise my prices again, right? And that's fine, and that's exciting. And the other thing that it kind of really showed me was that this year, one of the big things that I'm really available for is creating and diversifying more income streams. And I started with this early on in the year. You know, I created different passive products, the membership site, lots of different things like that. And it made me kind of think, okay, actually one of the big things that I really want to do in the latter half, and one of the things I'm really, really available for in the latter half of 2016, is about diversifying those income streams and really, really focusing and making it kind of like a clear focus for the rest of 2016 is to get paid for sleeping, right? In its most basic form. And that's something that's been really interesting to me, and it's also something that will totally change. Well, not totally change, because it obviously won't change the way I am in this group, but it will totally change some of my sales strategies. It will totally change some of my sales funnels. It will totally change some of the things that I have to test and tweak, and it will make me look at things like metrics in a completely different way, because I'll be measuring different things, you know, instead of just measuring sales calls and you know, ratios ratios on sales calls and things like that. It will actually mean measuring conversion rates on totally different platforms, you know, looking at things like Facebook advertising, looking at Instagram as a platform, looking at other things, you know, that I might need to work on the conversions for, and that I might need to test and tweak and put funding into, that I may or may not have anticipated doing at the beginning of the year. So it's quite interesting, you know, to do that. But it also highlighted that what I'm not available for is working longer hours. You know, I was talking to Lorraine and to Helen about this at the weekend, and one of the things that came up was we were talking about the hours that I actually work, and I was saying, well, you know, I don't work weekends, and I don't ever want to be one of those coaches who says, oh, I live this freedom lifestyle, and I, you know, independent, location free, whatever, but then is secretly working at like 2 a.m. on a Sunday night, because that's just, you know, it's not cool. It doesn't sit well with me. It feels out of integrity. So, you know, one of the things for me was, okay, I'm really, really not available to work any more hours than I'm already doing. I don't want to do that. And so it's one of the reasons why I need to diversify income streams, and, you know, how I build relationships with people and things like that. Needs to be along the passive line, needs to be along that automated line. So it's really, really interesting in how what you are not available for ties up with what you are available for. So I want people to think about today, you know, what is it that I'm actually available for in the second half of 2016? You know, and what does that mean for me financially? What does it mean for me? And when I say financially, I'm not just talking about your end goals in terms of what it means that you will make out of that. So, you know, if your goal or what you are available for is more one-on-one intensive work, and you're thinking, okay, well, financially that means that I'll be making 10 grand a month at least, because they'll be costing X, Y, Z. I also want you to think about, okay, well, what is that going to cost me in the run-up, okay? And be very practical about this, because I think it's one of the things that we don't see online all that often, and that we kind of forget to look at is, okay, well, what will that cost me to do? So, for example, when I was looking at this morning and I was kind of planning out and looking at what I would need to do in terms of diversifying my income streams, one of the things was looking at my passive products and thinking, okay, well, how am I going to get more traffic to them? Well, in order to get more traffic, I probably need to start paying a little bit for traffic. And I was looking at my budgets and thinking, okay, well, what can I budget for Facebook advertising? Or what do I want to budget for Instagram advertising, or for any kind of other social media platform? Where would it be wisest to invest that money? Now, what else do I need that goes along with it in terms of email autoresponder or a landing page, or do I need more graphics, or how are things going to look? What kind of things am I going to be using in that? So just make sure that you kind of look at both aspects of the finances, the cost and the profit. Now, the profit's obviously going to be the more exciting one. Who doesn't want to look at how much money you could be making? But also just make sure you're realistic on it, and you do look at the costs of what change will look like for you, and what it needs to look like for you in order to actually be successful with that. Natalie, you're drawing a few things in your planner right now, and one of them will be a stats tracker. Oh, I love that. With newsletter and social channels, so you can see what I'm working on. Is that working? Yeah, absolutely. If you look at a lot of the major kind of software and things, now if you look at things like Hootsuite or Buffer, they don't do your newsletter stats. But, one of the reasons that you have to check stats and you have to measure conversions so regularly is so that you know how things are performing, so you know how things are doing. And that's really, really important. So if you do decide, okay, well, I'm going to run a masterclass, how many people am I going to get signed up? And you track those stats with how many people signed up, how many people showed up live, how many people watched the replay, how many people bought live or on the replay, you're going to be able to judge it much better for next time, and you can test and tweak as you go along. Right? Does that make sense? But again, it also, and it ties into what are you available for? Are you available? Are you somebody that is really available to measure their business by metrics? I am. I love metrics. I get really excited about metrics. And I like to measure things by metrics because I know then what is happening. And I can see, if that landing page is converting at 20%, and then the core offer is converting at 10%, I'm thinking, okay, well, where's the disconnect there? It's probably in my email sequence, or it could be, I'm losing them on a masterclass, or it could be that I'm losing their attention in XYZ place. So it's all about testing, tweaking, knowing your numbers, and actually moving forward to do that. But if you're not available for metrics, which is fine, again, we're not all metrics based, not all of us are numbers people. Think about other ways you can manage that. Think about other ways that you can measure it. Think about other kind of measurements that you can take that in. Is it in terms of engagement? Is it in terms of how many people show up to your website? Is it in terms of how many contact requests you're getting, or how many requests you're getting for discovery calls, or things like that? Eventually you're going to have to do some numbers in it, but you can measure things that are a bit more fun for you to establish. Nicola, you want to start trainings, and you've got a challenge to your workshop this month. Yes, you do. You're going to have to put some hours in. Yeah, absolutely. And the initial hours that you put in are a big deal, But some of the highest converting paid passive products that I've done or that I've sold, I've created in like a couple of hours. I have one that's really high conversion, $27. It's sales scripts, and the conversion rate on it is ridiculous. Seriously, it's like ridiculous. But it only took me a couple of hours to put together. It's very basic. It's not, there's not lots and lots going on in it, but it's great content. It's really, really good. People really like it. And actually, in terms of the initial sell, it converts really well, but also in terms of going into a core offer or building a relationship, it does really well there too. Okay, so I do want you to think about this week and the focus for this week very much being on what are you available for, and what are you not available for. So if you are not available for, in terms of client work, if you are not available for unlimited email access, or if you are not available for creating a paid private Facebook community, that's fine. You don't have to be. So just think about what you are available for. Are you available for daily office hours, or are you available for weekly office hours, or are you available for highlighting your paid clients to your email list, or something else? There will always be things that you would rather do and that would actually, you feel, benefit your clients more or provide more value to your clients than just sitting there and following the crowd. And then, so I want you to think about it in terms of your business. So think about, what are you available for in terms of your business? Natalie, did you already launch your program? Since I'm not getting your emails, I don't know if it's already launched. I don't want to miss it. You haven't missed it. Don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. You're going to be seeing something about it very, very shortly, which is exciting. So I'm glad you asked about it, because I'm excited about it too. But don't worry, you haven't missed anything, not yet. And I got my VA to check your email address, and she was like, oh, I see it. And we were apparently going through to like a filtered folder. So hopefully, fingers crossed, and if you don't get an email from me tomorrow, please check it. Please let me know. But we're hoping that we've combated that issue. We were having a sort of problem with a couple of providers, which we've now sorted, and they were going through to like spam and promotional folders. But apparently that's now done. So let me know if you get the email tomorrow. You can check out how my newsletters really look. But yeah, so, I want you to think about it in terms of your business, what you're available for, and in terms of your life, what you're available for. Okay, so think about, how much time do you want to spend with your family? How much time do you want to be spending working? How much time do you want to be spending creating content? How much time do you want to be spending working with clients? Nicola, how do I know if I'm on your list? I can tell you, if you pop me a PM with your email address, I can tell you if you're on my list, and if you're not, I can add you to it, which might be the best way to go. And if you get stuck or anything, just give me a shout. But yeah, so I want you to think about it in terms of life, in terms of business, and make a little list, because I love my lists. You know me, I've got mine by my side. Got my list. Think about what it is that you are putting yourself up for this week. Think about what it is that you are available for. Think about, what it entails. Think about the cost of it in terms of time, in terms of energy, in terms of money. Got an alarm going off, bear with me. And every day I have this series, and there's about 4 in the series that remind me to look at certain things. One of them reminds me to eat dinner, but one of them is, am I being really honest? Am I being really passionate? Am I being full of integrity with what I'm doing today? And that's the one that just popped up. So there you go. But yeah, so I want you to really, really think about what you are available for and how you want to move forward and what it is going to cost you in the short term and in the long term. So you might find that, like Nicola was saying, she wants to really focus on creating this workshop, creating a series of trainings. Actually, initially, in terms of time and energy, that's probably going to cost Nicola quite a lot, right? Because it's going to cost her the time to create the training or create the workshop. It's going to cost her the time to sell it. It's going to cost her the energy to write the copy and things like that, and then market it. But actually, in the long term, creating that workshop and creating those trainings will be a huge return on investment for Nicola, because she could then sell that as a passive product. She could build up her marketing brand and visibility. She could have people up leveling from that workshop or training into her one-on-one practice, or however it is that she wants to run that. So, I just want you to think about and realize the importance of what you are available for and what you are not available for. So if you are not available for unlimited client contact, if you're not available for creating a paid Facebook group, if you're not available for creating a free Facebook group, if you're not available for hanging out in Facebook groups and posting 3 to 5 times a day, if you're not available for, working after 7 p.m. at night, I don't mind what you're not available for or what you are available for, but I want it to be right for you. Okay, and that's where we're going to start this week, is with what you are available for, what exactly you want to achieve, what it's going to cost you in terms of time, energy, money, and then the rest of this week we're really, really going to push for it, because the rest of this week is the last week of June, so it's quite exciting, it's a big deal. We've all got goals that we're trying to hit and things, and so I really, really want to make sure that I'm giving everybody every single opportunity this week to do that. So if you haven't hit certain goals this month, that's absolutely fine. Please don't worry about it. But just take a second today to think on a Monday and just relax briefly and think, okay, what am I available for? What am I not? Okay, and then the rest of this week, we're going to be doing some really, really cool trainings on different launch styles, different things that you might want to be putting into practice if you are trying to hit goals last minute this month. And believe me, we all are. I'm really pushing to hit my goal. I've got like a couple of thousand to go, and I'm like, and it's terrifying and it's scary and it's exciting, but I know where you are. Okay, so please, if you haven't hit those goals, don't worry. The rest of this week is going to be much more focused around hitting those goals, around what you can do if you have hit them, to kind of stretch yourself and plan for next month, or if you haven't hit them, how to do that last push and really get there. Okay? Creating a life, not just making a living right from the get-go, integrating everything that's important to me, loving this so much. Yay! Oh, I love that, Nicola. Yay! That makes me genuinely so happy. I love it when people are like, oh, I get this and it's exciting. That is exactly it. Nicola has summed it up even better than I have. Understanding what you're available for is about creating a business that supports you and the life you want, you know, right from the beginning. And that's whatever you want. There is nobody who can tell you it's right or wrong. There is nobody who can tell you that you want what you want right or wrong, and there's certainly nobody that can tell you that it can't happen, or that it won't happen, or that it's not supposed to happen. You just have to decide where your boundaries lie. Okay, and you just have to make those boundaries for yourself and say, okay, right, you know what, I'm upholding them. If that is raising your prices, if it is working less, if it is, you know, dedicating specific family time, if it's finally investing in some kind of paid traffic that you thought you were never going to do, or you're finally like, do you know what, I'm just going to spend that $10 on Facebook ads, or I'm just going to, you know, go out there and really section out my calendar and know what I'm doing on my content creation day and know what kind of blogs I'm creating, or if it's I'm going to step up and get that PR that I've been kind of desperate for to build my brand. I want you to know what it is that you're available for, and I want you to really start doing it, okay? Yay! Okay, ladies, because I'm going to be in hospital tomorrow afternoon, I know, send well wishes, chocolates, card. I'll accept them all in Facebook emojis. Because I'm going to be in hospital tomorrow afternoon, the live will be at 12, so it will be early for the Americans and anybody in the US at the moment. I'm really sorry, but because I'm going into hospital for 3 o'clock, I can't be on a live any later tomorrow. So I will be seeing you in the group. I will be live at 12. We will be talking. If you can't be there live, that's absolutely fine, no worries. Hopefully you'll catch the replay and you'll really enjoy it. But for today, you know, let me know what's going on with you. Let me know how your weekends were, and let me know what you are available for and what you're not available for, because that is something that I'm really excited to see. Yay! I'll see you tomorrow, my lovelies. Have really wonderful afternoons. I'm off. I don't know what anybody else is doing, but I'm off to record an interview with the lovely Cassie, who invited me to speak on a telly summit, actually, which is really exciting. It goes live in August, so I'll be sharing more about that with you. And for anybody obviously on my email list, make sure you check your email tomorrow, because there's some super exciting stuff coming up. Oh, yay! Thank you very much. I will see you on the replay tomorrow, Nicola. Thank you ever so much, everybody that's come and joined me live. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. If you need anything, please let me know. Please feel free to drop me a message, post it in the group, tag me, whatever. And please share what you are available for and what you're not. Speak to you soon. Bye.